All right, I was going to post it to Twitter, but it decided to kick me back off of it, both on my computer and on my phone simultaneously. So I won't be doing that. Hopefully, you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. I can't do anything about it. I tried. When Twitter had its meltdown the other day, it kicked me off, and I had like a day and a half where I couldn't do anything. Finally got access back to it like a half hour ago, logged in on my computer and my phone, and then it kicked me back off both of them for unusual and suspicious activity. So I don't know what to tell you on that. Hopefully, I'll get it back soon. I don't know. I might have to get a hold of Twitter support and see what's going on. Other than that, how's everybody doing this morning? Welcome in. We've got best ball on call this morning. We're going to be running some puppy drafts on Underdog. Probably 20-second. I don't know. Maybe we'll see if anybody. I'll tell you, I'll do a 30-second one. I'll give people some time to come in here. I don't know. See if anybody shows up. It's kind of early. It's a holiday weekend, waiting on 9. So if you want to do a 30-second puppy, if I get enough people in here and it doesn't fill quick enough, I'll back out and do it 20. I am by myself, so it's not. I guess I should share the screen, act like I've ever done this before. Good job, Anthony. Waiting on 9 people for a 30-second. I could back out. I'll tell you what, we'll see if we can fill a 20-second. I feel like that might fill faster. 20-second puppy. You want to join? Waiting on 8 for a 20. These usually right now seem to fill quicker. From what I've noticed, anyhow. I got to figure out what's going on with the Twitter now. Didn't have anything for a day and a half. Loaded it up, and that was the end of it. Waiting on to see the 20 seconds. People are just. We got fantasy football in garage in here. Chris the Candyman, always up late nights. I try and join in his streams when I can, but well, you know how it is once it gets to be 11 o'clock and I'm getting up at 5 in the morning. I always try to contribute whatever I can. He's always got good stuff. He's got good guests over there. Would you have I think last night you were solo. Would you have Meg from Fanspeak Network on there the night before? I can't remember. And then you got your show with Bindles on Monday nights. Ballsy, I believe. Yeah, but Candyman's one of my favorites to watch late nights. I kind of miss the lo-fi music a little bit. I do love the Ashton Genty hype video though. That's one of my faves. Low key, I don't draft as much Genty as I probably should. I wonder what I'm at with the field. I have to check that. I haven't had a chance to draft as much lately. I've been working so much. Like you guys see me in the chat, and that's about it. It's going, man. I got to get some yard work done and stuff. That's why I figured I'd come in here and see if I could do a couple of these real quick. See what we could make happen. You know how it is. Long weekend. Got some stuff, some semi obligations to do. I figure I'd do this. Yeah, your tunes are great, man. I do, and that's so not my thing. Normally, I'm like, nah, I don't need background music. But the first couple of times I heard yours, I was like, man, I can get down with this jam. One of my favorites. I'll always give you a shout out. You, PPR Tyler, best ball guy, off the schneid. We rolling in here. We filled it up. Draft starting in a minute. Who do we got in here? Anybody we know. I do not think if there's anybody you know, Candyman, I don't think here, I'll give you guys I guess I could do that. Move that out of there, give you the whole board. Might be able to see it better, not do that, apparently. I don't think there's anybody I know in here though. That is a pretty random room. It's so random that I get into one and I don't see somebody I know anymore. You recognize the 3 spot? Okay, Kev Mack. Yeah, I mean, some of these obviously I don't have my badge yet, so some of these guys have been drafting a lot longer than I have. Last year was my first year doing any of this stuff, so I'm still kind of learning the ropes as it. Especially the way the draft board changed this year from all the wide receivers being up top to now everybody wants a running back early, which was not the case last year. Watermelon and honey green tea is a wake up drink of choice this morning. I don't know if I should leave that up there. Yeah, I guess I could leave the whole board for right now. That's pretty decent, I guess. Put as much of it as possible over there without getting it off the screen. See if anybody's doing anything crazy this morning. Thanks for joining us, Candyman. Surprised that's pretty early for you. What, you're in Central Time Zone, so especially because you got young kids too, don't you? So I'm sure there's a household full of ruckus already. Yeah, see, I figured you'd need to get into something to wake you up. Jameer Gibbs all the way to 6. Puka, nothing too crazy what we're going on. I could get Genty. We could get some the old faithful combo. Let's see what happens. Christian McCaffrey there. Yeah, let's take Neighbors. Do something fun and see if it comes back. I know it's chalky, but whatever. It's a fun start. Unless there's a different wide receiver I want to play with here. We'll see what the room wants to give us. Derrick Henry and Brian Thomas at the corner. Amon-Ra, I always think that's interesting when you have Amon-Ra, what you do here. Nico Collins, I could go with the chalky Brock Bowers. If I don't, CMC, Brock Bowers, that's pretty. Do I pull up anybody? Is there anybody else I want here? Drake London, AJB, probably not. Let's just do that and go ahead and get our week 17 correlation. We'll figure out what we're going to do at quarterback later. I like doing that from over here, especially I was thinking about this earlier. I don't mind doing that and just getting your week 17 correlation with a wide receiver and tight end because you're still in a range over here where you're playing with the elite quarterbacks. So whatever you have to do, I understand you're probably falling behind a little bit at wide receiver, but you're probably only doing a two tight end build, I would think, most likely with Bowers. And then you already have some correlation, so you're already starting into the Giants and Raiders game with your first 2 picks. One less thing you got to get right, I guess, if you're going to do that. But then you do got to figure out, is Geno going to make it through the whole year? I mean, I would think he would. But then the Giants QB situation is always interesting. Is Russ going to play the whole time? Wouldn't think so. But what if they're winning? Do you bench him? Steelers did last year with Justin Fields. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying it's what happened. A little bit of a run of running backs there, headed back through the second. JT, HN, Jacobs, Bucky. I got to remember to do certain things. Are the elite tight ends too expensive? Is always what I'm wondering. Is second round prices for McBride and Bowers too much, especially early second with Bowers? And are we overreacting to what Bowers did? Because this is like the new Bowers and McBride are like the new Kelsey and Kittle, where they're the elites that go early. Do I? I don't usually. I will if you've got one. If you're in here and you want, I mean, I can sauce you up or something if you want. I don't really do anything too crazy, but if you want me to, if you ask nicely, I might do some. I'm really just getting started with this gig. 3-hole with or the 5-hole with 3 running backs early. That's interesting. Do I rate? That's interesting. I didn't really think about that. I guess, are you saying like the NFL teams or teams as people draft them? Oh, I think, let's see. What are you guys going to give us? I'll take Mike Evans there. Oh, okay. You saying you got like a dynasty team or something? That's why I was curious what was, or if you got an underdog team. Travis Hunter, he gets both of those with Josh Allen and Derrick Henry. That's interesting. Lamar goes there. Okay, this is what I was thinking. Do I take Jaden Daniels here, or I could just keep pushing quarterback down the board? Yeah, we'll let you play with it. Give me Tet. I think that's an interesting build there. Yeah, you're giving Jaden, whatever, fourth round. That's fine. Somebody's going to get him either way. Where's Terry at there? Boy, that'd be nice to push him all the way back there with C. I think he'll get taken in here. Somebody will jump him. This guy, let's see what quarterbacks. Yeah, he might take him just because he's got later quarterback. Well, he takes Hampton. I might have thought about Jaden there. It's a DK 2 mil. Okay. Next, Darnold, Jaden. Amon-Ra, Jackson Smith, Ridley Royals. I mean, the tight ends kind of suck, but that's the game you're playing with tight end this year. You push it down. But other than that, I don't hate it. You're really hoping on Brees Hall there, I guess, to really be hero RB, but it can get there. Your tight ends worry me more than anything else. Yeah, the rookies, I see that, but the tight ends are really, really hoping the tight end room there. It could. I mean, you'll have to. I feel like he really got boxed out in some situations there. He might not have wanted to. Let's see where we're at here. Kelvin Ridley. Wow, Jaden made it all the way back to Terry, huh? Pushed him through that whole room. Okay, we getting wide receiver avalanched over here? Looks like we might be. I couldn't have taken Kittle there, I don't think. Do we just let I kind of like Travion there, huh? Yeah. I saw the Tyler Warren thing. I was thinking about my pick here real quick. If there's anything else that I want to do, I think I'm going to take Travion there just because I would like to get a running back before it falls off the cliff. I don't really have anything I need to do anytime soon. We could see if that works. Yeah. I saw that you had Tyler Warren. That was it really depends on if the Colts use him. Like, is he going to be any sort? I understand they'll use him, but the Colts passing game kind of worries me. Just depend on who their quarterback is. Is it going to be dump offs to him? Is it going to be Anthony Richardson? I hate falling into this trap, but I feel like he's still a good value even there. Sure, we'll take Kamara. I just want to get two running backs because by the time they get back, they're all going to be gone. I kind of wanted Chuba to fall back to me so I could build out the Carolina and Seattle week 17, but I'm going to take Kamara there. Just in case Travion's got a little, maybe, hopefully, if he has a slow start, at least Kamara should get a little bit of a run at the beginning. I kind of don't like where some of these teams are quarterback situation wise, but we'll see if Baker makes it back. Then at least I'll start to feel good about it. Little bit of a wide receiver run through the fourth and fifth round there. Because usually Hampton or Jaden will get taken earlier than that. Yeah, you can see wide receivers getting scooped up now. That was the end of like the good running backs. Burrow makes it almost all the way back to Jamar Chase drafter. He gets taken by T. Higgins. That's the game you play with the Bengals, one or the other. I started playing regular redraft like 20 years ago. I've only been doing this best ball stuff for like a year though. I'm still really figuring this out. It's a different thing. Yeah, I was playing redraft back in the day, like when we were taking Adrian Peterson first overall and stuff. Is there anybody? I shouldn't have to worry about that, right? If he makes it back, I would think. Is there anything week 17 I can really build out yet, other than what I did? Not so much early. Nothing really fun in this. Tony Pollard's. I mean, if you wanted a third running back, I guess that's a thought there. I did this, or I don't know how much I like doing this, even though is there anything I'm already in that game. I hate Cooper Cup. I don't think he's a good value there at all, but I'm in that Carolina and Seattle game, and I feel like I should be able to push Baker around and get him back here because nobody's playing in that Tampa Bay game yet. Yet. This is where somebody decides I'm going to take Baker and then stack him with Kate Otten later or Emeka Buka. Right. That was my other thought. Is this guy right here going to take Ibuka and we'll just take Baker and get one of the QB stacks out of the way. Currently through 8 rounds. We're at a 1-2-4-1. Baker Mayfield stacked with Mike Evans. Running backs are Kamara and Henderson. Travion Henderson, Alvin Kamara. First and second round picks were Malik Neighbors and Brock Bowers. We went back to back so we could just get our week 17 game out of the way. Now we're just seeing if we can get this team there. He started in 2010, had some good success with DK in 2015. Working, yeah, it's best ball is a different animal. But yeah, I feel like if you got in DK in 2015, that was probably a good time to get in it. See, I was way later to the game than that. I literally like last year started watching this and then built a computer and started like, I'll start doing some streams, I guess. And basically just I guess getting into the volume and the variance of it. Like as you can see, I'm using the best ball overlay tool that highlights my correlations and such. That's why I was looking to see if Baker Mayfield was going to make it back. I saw him on the board, but I also figured with where I was, I didn't need to, unless the guy in the corner went Ibuka and Mayfield, I didn't have to worry about it as much. So from here out, I can just kind of draft a team. It'll highlight correlations. I can help, build what I need to when I need to. Really just wanted to get a few drafts in. I don't even know. I might fuck a couple of these up just because I haven't done it in a while. That's the only thing I don't like is how low the board is. I have to scroll down to it. I kind of like having the other board up so I can just look at it. Yeah, I think what you're saying about Dowdle there, I'll pull your comment up after these after we go around the turn here. If I don't, will someone take him is my question here. I do also have Charbonnet. I'll tell you who I like. I can't take another tight end yet. I'm going to take Charbonnet there. That also is another piece of the Carolina and Seattle game. There is somebody I was hoping would come back around the corner here. We'll see if it happens. Somebody I feel like I'm underweight on. Don't know that he will make it back or not. This guy, Caleb, he goes Jalen Warren. The guy I was hoping was going to make it back was Justin Fields. Even though they're the same buy, I can take a third quarterback later. And I'm not like in the elite range because I didn't pick Baker until later. I'm going to take Fields there. Just because I think he has the good rushing upside. Baker has some rushing upside, even though I know I'm kind of boxing myself into week 9. That's fine. I could even maybe stop at 2 there still. If anything, it's going to be a really late third quarterback anyways. I've also there's another wide receiver, but what you're saying with Dowdle there, I think between Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard, it's going to be like a 1A one. But like obviously Chuba's going to get his workload, but they're going to use Dowdle quite a bit just because I don't think they want to run Chuba into the ground like that. Plus, I think they're going to run more play action stuff with Tet, and that should also make you got Thielen as your safety blanket. It'll probably make Leggett and Coker better as well, just because they're not having to separate as much. They can actually, run. I just think the offense as a whole will be more functional because you actually have a wide receiver one, which I feel they didn't have before. 2-3-4-1. Quarterback button's going to be off for a while. That's for certain. We'll be looking at this. We are a little bit behind at wide receiver. I don't like only having 4 through 10, but you kind of look at Brock Bowers as a wide receiver when you're playing this build. My 3 up top are pretty solid. Cooper Cup's a real question mark, but I'll have to get into some coming back here. We've got some options. I don't really have to worry about tight end again for a while. I would think I'm looking at wide receivers in here. I also have McMillan, Jack Besh in here. I do not have Jack Besh in here apparently because he goes right there. Always the funny part of streaming, you can mention a guy and he will go ultimately the next pick. Sinnott last year, yeah, they both did seem to have the skill in college. Burton, I don't know. He just feels like one of those guys that the Bengals drafted that's going to fall into bad favor, where he might not be the greatest thing for him, but they could definitely play. They also have people in their way, so there's that. Back to my pick. Do I go McMillan here for another stack? It probably isn't the worst idea. I don't like cucking my. Yeah, I'm gonna take McMillan there. There's a couple tight ends in there. If one of the tight ends comes back, I might take it and be done at tight end. But I'll take McMillan there just for another maybe spike week. I get that his ADP is way lower than that. I don't care. He's the last good piece I want there. We'll see what comes back here. I was wondering if Thielen would make it back here. Where are we at ADP wise? He probably. You know what? I kind of like Njoku there. Also, in week 9 bye, I'm gonna have to watch that. Week 9, I'm gonna be hurting. You have to get another quarterback late to cover that bye. But thought about Rashad White there, but I didn't know that I wanted to spend more capital. Yeah, Lamide's. I think any of the you can have a couple of the. You got him with Chicago, and you got like any of the Commanders wide receivers that are late down there. Jalen Lane, Noah Brown, even Luke McCaffrey could still. Lamade, Zacchaeus, you got for the Bears. I was trying to think there was another one. Any of the Houston wide receivers could have a. Basically, if you look for if you want a good late wide receiver, look for a good quarterback and like a third or fourth wide receiver. That's usually how I try to look at it. Or like even like the Jaguars' third and fourth wide receivers, Diami Brown and Parker Washington. I wonder if I could pull off a triple here. Maybe. Might come back. We'll see. This is the joys of streaming. People can see right what you're thinking. But I should be in a range where it's pretty close, right? Leggett goes there. Bryce is the higher ADP, but if I think if I take Thielen first in the event that he makes it, What's happening, Omega King? GM. I saw you sneak in there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's take Thielen and see if I can wrap Bryce around the quarter and then be done at quarterback. I think that'll work. Omega King, one of the grinders out here in the streets, one of the guys I see putting together some really good teams time to time. Seems to know what he's doing, right, Omega King? At least I think so. Let's take Bryce here. Three quarterbacks: Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, Bryce Young. Three running backs: Trayvon Henderson, Alvin Kamara, Zach Charbonnet. Bryce double stacked with Thielen and Tet McMillan. I got the bring back with Bowers and Neighbors from the first round. Kurt Bill 3362. I think you know what you're doing. You put together better teams than I do. But also, I think what's the motive when you do this stuff? If you can put together people and put together good rooms where people know what they're doing and stay in their lane, then everybody builds good teams and everybody's got a better chance of advancing and or winning the whole thing. See, this is where the overlay tool is nice here, is that you can really see your correlation picks that you have coming back. We have Mason Taylor if I want him here from other tight end. Not that he maybe he'll make it back in the 15th. Not usually though. But this is where the end of the draft, I feel like, is where the overlay's super clutch. Omega King, you're a disc golfer too, aren't you? I got the disc golf bag up there with I got the R Pro AVR in the front. Emo Cowboy, what's happening? Yeah, I went to go post a link on Twitter for this shit, and the unusual logins. I logged in on my computer and then on my phone, and it did the unusual login thing. I figured you'd like that. I figured you and Best Ball Guy would like the disc golf bag to the collection up there. Dubs and Pat Bryant here. Rico Dowdle was one I was hoping would make it back for some correlation in the running back room. Yeah, Emo, I've seen you up. You've been on a couple. You were over with the Candyman a couple nights ago. Yeah, I figured you. I try. I give some people some shout outs. I got the Wake and Take mug up there from the Jason Allwine when he used to do that. The Wake and Take player profiler show at like I think it was 10 in the morning or something. Do I want a third tight end? God, that's tough with Bowers there. I'm gonna take Coker first because if I'm gonna take a third tight end. Oh, that's tough. That is super tough there, right? I think if anything, I got to do it in the next round. Saints Titans could be underrated. Could be just because they're so cheap. Let's see what the corner does here. I can't believe I pushed Mason Taylor all the way around trying to get him back. I maybe should have taken him there. It's just so tough with a third tight end when you take Bowers that early. I feel like he's going to go in one of these four picks, even with Fields. That's why, because I had Fields. See, I knew he'd go there. I do have K. Dotton still, which if I'm going to take a third tight end, I guess I should probably take another running back in here. Kind of like DJ Giddens or Devin Neal here, but I already have Kamara, so Giddens would have to be the pick that makes sense if he's there. Right? I believe that's the way you got to do that. Don't believe in cucking myself. This guy takes Giddens, then that sucks. I think Giddens is the pick there. I don't need K. Dot and I don't need a tight end. Nothing in this range. I really appealing. Yeah, let's do that. 3-4-7-2. Running back room kind of weak, but you're hoping that, Kamara and Henderson at least give you wide receivers and tight ends. It should be enough to carry you. And you've got three chances at quarterback. Mario Williams for the Rams this season. BKGJ. That is a hard name to say real fast, huh? BKGJ. BKGJ. Have to work on the pronunciation with stuff like that going on. Pull up the board for you ladies and gents watching. We got 2 picks left through 16 rounds. Guess I'll recap the team real quick. 3-4-7-2, Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, Bryce Young, Travion Henderson, Alvin Kamara, Zach Charbonnet, DJ Giddens. I've got the bring back with Charbonnet for the Bryce Young in the Carolina game with Thielen and Tet McMillan. Also have Cooper Kupp. Not that I'm the biggest fan, but it kind of fell in with ADP that game. Brock Bowers, David Njoku. I kind of like Njoku and Freiermuth just because of their Week 17 matchup. Also, same thing with Mark Andrews and Tucker Kraft, just because those are kind of games where you feel like tight ends might be involved. I could be wrong. I've been wrong lots of times before, but in my head, that kind of makes sense. Makes me a little less. I mean, I still like the wide receivers for the Packers, but that Week 17 game is a little scary, isn't it? As I'm staring at Savion Williams, right? That's always how it goes. I think in here, though, we need some upside running back plays. I do not, man, that's so sucks having Devin Neal there, right? Definitely not taking another quarterback at all. Rashard Smith's a good one. Torrey Horton kind of interesting as well, right? Let's take Rashard Smith first and see what comes back. Because we only have one pick left. Do want to get to 5 running backs, especially with this room. This could most likely be a running back of Torrey Horton when it comes back, for sure. Is there any running backs in this range that I care about? Not really. Ollie Gordon's kind of fun there for the Tampa Bay bring back, right? There's a thought. Who was it? Was it Chad Candle's stream the other morning and said, did everybody forget about Ollie? I don't think I did. I'm going to take him there. 3-6-7-2. Baker Mayfield, Travion Henderson, Alvin Kamara, Zach Charbonnet, DJ Giddens, Brashard Smith, Ollie Gordon. All the rookie running backs other than Charbonnet and Kamara, old man, and a contingent handcuff. 3 running backs, 2 of them that you feel pretty good about, one with good rush. Yeah. Oh, is the site broken? Is that what it is? I was because I literally was I thought it was just me because I logged back in on my computer and it logged in there. It did the multi-factor authentication. I did it on my phone. It worked on both of them. And then it gave me a suspicious login. And I was like, well, what the fuck ever? I'm just going live on YouTube. I can't do anything about this shit. That makes me feel better, though, if X is broken. That's not just me. Sorry if that audio was a little shitty there. I know how that sounds. But yeah, okay, that's now I feel better. That's that. I logged up. Man, I hope this isn't going to continue to be a thing ever since that fucking fire with Twitter. Anyhow, let's go through and recap. Well, I did kind of recap the team. 3-6-7-2. I've got Baker Mayfield with Mike Evans. Also have a bring back in that game. I grabbed Ollie Gordon late. Bryce Young with Tet McMillan and Adam Thielen. I also have Jalen McMillan and Mike Evans in that game. I forgot about McMillan. Took him early. Jalen Coker, Tet McMillan, and Thielen with the bring back with Cooper Kupp. We're just going to play for all the marbles in that game and hope it shoots out with some bad defenses. See if we can get it there with the rest of it. We also have a bring back in 17 between Bowers and Neighbors, but I didn't even play with I think it's an okay team. I didn't even play with the quarterback situation in Cleveland or Vegas there. I figured it wasn't worth my time with the build I was in. I grabbed Fields in the 10th round just because I felt like I was below the field on Fields. What am I at here? I guess I got to refresh that for the overlay to show up, huh? Oh, God damn it. Oh, now I did that. I guess I'm at 15%. I thought I was below. I must just be recently because I haven't extracted my exposure. I haven't had time to draft much. You guys see me in the chat. I'm never in there drafting. But I feel like that's an okay team. I'll run another one here in a few minutes if you guys want to get into one. I always name them by the date, and the time they finished. I don't even name them with correlation or anything like that. I just wait and look at them later after the fact, and we see what gets there. And then I can kind of look at when I drafted them and see what got through. I noticed a lot of mine last year, and I didn't really notice this until one of my buddies pointed it out after the fact. The late night rooms are gold. That's where you can just get some EV. I had one that made the BB. I might have showed this one to you, Emo. It was one of my Ben Sinnott teams that made the BBM semis last year, and I star methoded because there was some hype going around about Josh Jacobs getting a bunch of carries that year. I star methoded him and took him at pick 20 and still got a BBM team through to the semis with Ben Sinnott. So that just shows you how wild the variance can be in this game. Let's do some quick math. I'll see if I can get you guys a clean room here. If I do this and go 189,985 divided by 12. Okay, so that should be pretty close to a clean room. I'm going to do a 20-second puppy for anyone that wants to join. Waiting on 10. See, my math was all right. I was hoping it was good there. Bunch of sickos in this room if you want to do it. Anyone watching, free to join. You can jump in. It's nice and early here in the morning. Emo Cowboy, I believe you're in the central time zone, so you're probably just waking up here. I feel a little bit better now if the Twitter machine is broken. That means I got to go back in and probably still have a case in the queue, that whole thing. Oh, it's such a hassle for paying for the shit. It certainly don't seem to work very well. Seems to be the way things go these days, right? I did do a 20-second, right? Did anyone pay attention when I hit that? I think it was a 20-second. I believe it was. We're waiting on 3. Room's filling up. We'll get this boy going pretty quick here. Waiting on 3 if you want to get in here. 20-second, $5 puppy underdog fantasy. I didn't get a chance to post this Twitter, but if you're watching on YouTube, if you made it over here, thanks for joining in. Like the banner, or I guess the overlay says here at the bottom, drafts at any hour. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'll do what I can to let you guys in these drafts, as you can tell. Sometimes they fill immediately, as Emo Cowboy's seen over here. When you stream them and there's enough people watching, they will snap fill sometimes. But I do what I can. GM Vaporware. Good to see everybody up and alive this weekend. Long weekend, I hope, for a lot of people. Who we got in here? I'll give you guys the whole board, too. I'll get my stuff out of the way. Give you a bunch of stuff. Bunch of information for you cats that are watching. Who we got in here? Anybody we see? No, none of you guys joining in here, huh? Just watching, huh? $5 20-second puppy vape. Okay, Randall Ducati. He's J. Crow, man. He is at the 4 spot. I don't know if I said your name there. Ducati. However, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but okay, Omega's in a BBM. If you correct me on that, I'll try and pronounce it correctly. Good luck to you, Crowman from the 4 spot. You guys can let me know. I wasn't sure. Hey, trust me, my last name gets butchered. That's why I just put my first name up there. I ain't even gonna waste my time trying to explain it to people. I'm curious what I missed now. What I'm missing on that. Omega's in a BBM. All right, we got some people in here. Maybe we'll get some new subs to the channel as well. That's what I like to see here. Vaporware's been one of my one of my comrades in these best ball streets ever since I started. I think he was one of the first with me on PPR Tyler's channel. You guys can tell me too if you want the player queue up, if you want the board up, whatever it is. I am open to whatever you want to do. Not hurt my feelings on anything. Got the D Influencer 112 over here. Thanks for joining in, everyone. I'm super curious about this comment now. I really want a response from Emo here. Oh, okay. I didn't get to see any. I fell asleep last night. I've been working like 6. That's why you guys just see me in the chat lately. I haven't been firing up streams. I don't even have the energy to do it when I get home lately. But I got a little bit of a long weekend, so we'll see what we can have happen here. Yeah, you and I were like one of the first ones in PPR Tyler's chat, I thought. Good old vape. I hope Twitter comes back. I never thought I'd miss it like I like I do already. Well, we're gonna get some options over here, huh? Do I just double up on wide receiver? I think that's a fun start, right? Nico and BTJ, come on down. That's the big board special you were hoping would get to fall to you. Now that McCaffrey goes up here, this just falls here, right? I mean, you can take big dog if you want. Still do that, but isn't this just what you were hoping to happen in the big board? Now, if you get it in a puppy, you're like, all right, I'll take that. You could pull someone else up if you want, I guess, or take Bowers, but I don't know. You guys can tell me if that's wrong. I think that's right, though. Or at least, trajectionally, right? Accurate. Whatever it is. I guess with your week 17 matchups, you could do something different. You could pull Lad up there if you wanted with Nico, but Vape says 12 spots sweet this year. And of course, I rarely get it. I do see you more. I feel like Vape when you get something, it's here or here, not necessarily the 1 or the 12. I do have a lot. I like McCaffrey though, and he's starting in the big board. I was taking him all the time, like right in here, 12, 13, 14. And now that he's up here, and if he stays healthy, I'm really going to feel good about my big board exposures to him. Because basically, when everyone was taking, I felt like when everyone was taking Genty and putting him up here, I was taking McCaffrey here just to get like a running back wide receiver start. And now Genty McCaffrey are going here, and I'm just taking the double wide receiver when it gets there. So I guess we're into Jacksonville if I want to do that. And Houston, but not mixing for a while. Those that are seasoned vets already know what I was thinking there. This is what's nice about pulling up the board too, is you can kind of load your queue up if you want to star method stuff and just pay attention to it. If you choose to do so, just don't make mistakes like I do sometimes. This is where you guys join in and watch. You can get your free EV when I make mistakes. That's how I made some of my teams on other people's streams last year, especially when Best Ball Guy was doing his like 100 draft stream. Some of my teams that got through were one of his where he was like doing his thing, and it would just, how it goes. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this now. What was it on? Was it on BBG's stream? Is that what must have been? Because I'm guessing so. Because that would have been late night where I was probably crashed out already. I did catch Emo Cowboy. I'll crash out after work, and then this is what it's great is that the best ball space is getting to the point where you can take a nap and wake up, and there's probably another stream on. That's why I figured if I start doing these, okay, it was on Sanctuary. That makes sense why I missed it then. I'll have to check out the same. Go check out Emo Cowboys over on Fantasy Sanctuary with Tom and Rich, or Tom from Fantasy Pros and Rich Dynasty Island over there. Check out the Fantasy Sanctuary. I'll always put out good content, Dynasty content, best ball content, all of it. Redraft when it starts up. Let's see what comes back to us over here at the turn. I was trying to think if there's anybody else in here I need to give a shout out to that's got a channel in here. Not that I see. I did Candyman already. I think we're caught up. Nice laid back Saturday for you guys. Josh Allen at 33. Jay Money wanted him some Josh Allen, did he? Oh, yeah. BBG. I love when BBG gets worked up too, because I feel like it's hard for him to. Man, is this quite a fall on JSN if he gets here? Do I take him there? Feels like that's pretty unique, him making it that far, right? Huh. What about this? Do I do this? Because I think this will be unique, huh? From here? God, that's hard to pass on Lamar, but JSN Tet from there, even though I just built a team with this. Okay, I'll check that out on the sanctuary. Was it yesterday? Best ball's always hey, that was my straight up emo cowboy. This was my motive when I named the channel Best Ball on Call was because I can just fire off a stream at any hour and fill in the space. So like if there's not one on, okay, I'll just go ahead and do it. Seems good enough, right? Because I feel like everybody kind of gets their own. Yeah, no problem, man. I shout out anyone I can. Same the way Who Hames does it is the same thing I'm doing. Like if you've got a channel and you can do it, we all grow together. But yeah, that was my thought. I just make it, and then we can do our thing. Jaden Daniels makes it. I was wondering, Lamar's still out there. Wow, that's a fall on Lamar there. I was wondering how soon he would go. I just looked up. I thought about doing Travis Hunter, but once JSN made it back and I thought I could just make this stack right here, I figured I'd do it. I have to be unique here because JSN's ADP is 29. He fell all the way to 36. And I can really push the quarterback down in this room then, I think. And I'll be behind it, running back here for a minute, but I'll worry about that later. I want to win one of these tournaments. I want to win one of these big tournaments so I can put a nice bankroll in my Underdog account and do this all the time. Like literally like either pay off my house or something like that and do something like that and then just be able to do this all the time. That'd be awesome. Where I'm not worried about day-to-day operations and stuff. But yeah, also a nice vacation. Trust me, working 60 hours, I love a vacation. Vapeware says, love when you guys call out BBGs, BS. Debo had 520 points. What was the I'm curious the content. I'm so mad I didn't get to see this now. I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna have to go back and dive into this before I comment on it because I feel like that's gonna be. Look at where all the quarterbacks went here. That's interesting. Hurts back here with Devontae Smith stacked. When will I have to take my quarterbacks? Is the interesting part of this gig, huh? RJ Harvey would be fun here. Mixon correlates. I don't think Harvey will make it back. I'm so curious what you guys are on now. I'm gonna have to go back and watch some streams on 2X and catch up just so I can comment on this stuff now. Damn it. I hate being behind on what's happening here, especially when there's people streaming, because I feel like I'm always in the streets and usually caught up on stuff. RJ Harvey went there. I was hoping he would make it back. Felt like that would have been unique getting RJ Harvey there. Chuba goes there. Didn't want to give me my Chuba Hubbard. All right, I'm already in that game, right? Do I need another wide receiver? I feel like I'm building the same team here if I do that. Is there anything else I want here instead? I'm going to take Travion just because of that. I don't know. Is there anything else here? I think I'm going to take Rome on a fall there because I don't like any of the tight ends or anything else coming up soon. Honestly, I gave okay. PPR Tyler's the T-Wolves fan. What's that series at now? I was just thinking that. Haven't seen PPR. I honestly, like, as much as you guys see me watching these streams lately, I have not had a chance to lately. Yeah, PPR Tyler's the big Minnesota Hoops fan. Only one running back. Kind of don't like that. I might have to get some running backs here soon. Didn't think about that. Yeah, I'm kind of the NBA playoffs got really interesting. I'm obviously in the Detroit market, so I'm a Pistons fan, but now that the Knicks are fucking around doing what they're doing, the whole thing got kind of cute. The Thunder have looked pretty solid. Indiana, I don't know, they just seem like I haven't caught, like I said late last night. I crashed out and get to see anything. So anything that I'm missing out on here, you guys can catch me up on. All I'll say is I can only I'm so mad at the context here that I don't understand yet. I'm definitely when I go out and do yard work later, I'm gonna have to do this. Somebody do me a favor, emo or vape, anyone who's in here, comment on this video afterwards the link to that so I can listen to it when I'm out doing yard work later, just so I can have something to listen to. Everybody else sucking up all the running backs. See what we're up to here. These might have to be some running back picks here soon. Guess I should do that. Appreciate you, vape. Anyone that does it, or if you just want to leave a comment, I'm sure I can find it. I just being lazy and yeah, appreciate you, emo, if you do that. I figure that way you're promoting your stuff, and I'm lazy and don't have to look for it. Everyone wins, right? All right, we should be in some running back range here where maybe I can get something I need if I have to. I almost wonder if my Roma Dunze pick should have been Jordan Addison was the one I thought there. People hear me start talking about running backs and take DeAndre Swift. I get it. Wait, isn't DWB? Isn't that like somebody that's in BBG stream or something? I swear it was. Maybe I'm crazy. Do I need a tight end yet? Probably if it gets here. Do I want Hawkinson is the question. I still think Pacheco is a good value there, and I kind of need a running back. How far can I push the rest of this if I do it? Let's see how nice my rooms are, right? We can do that. I would thought about it too. That was my other thought. I thought about it if I did. When I saw your comment, I thought about. I swear to God, I was like, I should just push tight end. I think this team's okay. Uh, I swear, literally, I was like, I should just push tight end and take somebody else in here, like Mooney or something. And I clicked Hawkinson, saw your tight end come up or your comment come up, and I was like, well, that's the end of that. Yeah, I did have two picks, and that's why I thought Pacheco. I figured I should get a running back because it's going to be a while before they come back, and I had already pushed it kind of far and just took Henderson. Kind of worried about any production I'm getting early in the season there, but what worries me is what I have to do here so far because I have to take quarterbacks on the turn. So when I send them, it's whatever comes back. Yeah, Chris's streams, they're pretty quality, like top to bottom, inside and out. And he's had some good guests on there. If any of you guys want to come on here with me, well, whenever Twitter's working again, send me a message and we'll make something happen. Can always do that. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's exactly was my thought there. And once it's working, just send me the link or send me a DM. If my once I get apparently I'm locking myself out because the two-factor thing, and I use it for both, and it works, and it thinks I'm doing something crazy. So we'll get there though. Find a way. We are currently at through 8 rounds a 0.251. Travion Henderson, Isaiah Pacheco, Nico Collins, Brian Thomas Jr., JSN Tet Roma Dunze. We have a Tet JSN bring back in week 17 because Tet fell all the way back to us. Or because JSN fell back to us at 36. Sorry about that. Thinking out loud. I know when to pivot and use the silent parts. Very proud of last night's performance, hitting my Pete stride. The Pete stride's a good thing if you can get there, because Pete, you watch these guys that do it all the time. It's like they just do it. They've seen everything happen, and nothing to them is something that's new. You And that's what you got to be able to do with these two is think on your feet. All the quarterbacks going to fall back, huh? Still don't hate some of the running backs in this range either. Charbonnet puts me back in that game. And I also like Cam Scatabo, I think. Yeah, I mean, Pete, how do you ever compete with Pete? Like, straight up. Like, when he goes to queue up for best ball breakfast, and I'll tell you a funny thing about that comment that you just made there. When Pete queues up for best ball breakfast, and there's like 300 people waiting, what does that tell you? I mean, that tells you all you need to know about Pete, right? Yeah, where are we at in the quarterback range here? How much fun can we have with this? Evan Ingram goes there. I like Cam Scatabo on that fall for one. Do I need a quarterback yet? Probably not, huh? Maybe. Yeah, let's take Cam Scatabo there. I'm worried if I don't take Stroud there that he this is all right. Let's see. I definitely did consider Caleb. I for sure did. Yeah, I thought about it because of the room where I took him, but we'll see what my how nice my rooms are. He should be back. Stroud should come back about at ADP, but somebody could get greedy. I also have other ways to play this, I guess. I have two quarterbacks, but I don't think. I mean, I also have, in the event that Lawrence came back, I could play. I have both of them, so I guess one of them should probably make it back. Also have JJ McCarthy if I want to play the. I also wonder about that is with JJ McCarthy with TJ Hawkinson, is he going to be like his safety valve? Whereas Justin Jefferson not going to see as much volume, like he'll be seeing. I think he's JJ. Obviously, he's going to get his work, but is that just going to be one of those things where it's something where because JJ McCarthy wasn't thrown as much in college, is it going to be one of the things where he's just looking for the tight end, especially early until he gets more acclimated with the offense? Hard to pass Kyler there. Yeah, even with Trey McBride, I get it. Probably wouldn't take another quarterback, but I can see why you did. But yeah, I thought about Caleb there. I just honestly, a part of me wanted to see what the room was going to give me back, and I also have other late quarterbacks between the Carolina and Seattle build I have here, and if I needed to, Drake may to build something out. Maybe Giants ugly. Still have JJ McCarthy. I figured I had outs. I could push it a bit. We'll see what comes all the way back. I figure how the quarterback pocket is. That's why I was a little worried about pushing it. Even Fields, what I took Fields last draft in the 10th around here, I think. And he goes in the 9th there. So it just shows you the variance and where Justin Fields can go in these drafts. But Fields could also be a guy you need week 17 if he puts up 30 points. And no other quarterback does. That's always my thing. What quarterback are you going to need week 17? Like, where do you need an elite quarterback? Because last year it was Joe Burrow you needed, right? Because he went with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase a week before. So he pushed Caleb. He almost made it back. Let's see who we get here. Because none of these quarterbacks in here I really needed, was my thought. The only one that was in any of the games I could have thought about was Caleb. This drafter here also, and see, I was thinking he might go Drake May soon because of the Kyle Williams thing. I'm looking at what games these guys are in. He could take if he wanted to. Yeah, I guess this is where T-Law could go. There's with He's got the 100. He goes Drake May. Interesting. I always try to figure out what people are doing. He goes Tucker Craft. I think at the ADP value there, I just stack up both of my first round picks and go on about my business. I believe that's correct there. 2451 through 12 rounds. Little bit short at wide receiver of where I like to be, but I also have other late add-ons for those games and other bringbacks I could think about in my other games. Same here, Vape. Appreciate you coming out and giving me some watch time. Like he says there, pound the like button if you're watching this. If you enjoy the content, if you want to get in here and draft with me. A lot of the good people in the space. Thanks for coming out if you're dipping emo. Happy Memorial Weekend to everyone. Give the Fantasy Sanctuary a like while you're here. I think someone's going to drop the link to their latest stream afterwards. Watch that afterwards. Give it a like. Do what you can. We're going to see if we can get these going 24/7. It'll be fun all summer. Two, 4, 5, 1. We'll see what we can get for these builds later on. I think we might just be done at quarterback there, unless we tack on Bryce Young at some point in time. I'd probably have to push him another round, I think, to get him back to where it's worth it with where I took quarterbacks. Maybe not. If I took another wide receiver here and then just tack on 2 tight ends late, we'll see what comes back. Always fun to think on your feet in these. If you guys have any suggestions or think I should have done something differently, let me know. I'm glad Emo Cowboy said that Twitter's broken because I thought it was just mine going crazy again. Oh. Hopefully the audio and video here is good for you guys. Doing what I can for just throwing this together within the last 6 months. But I wanted to get up in here and do some of these drafts with you guys because it's fun. And hopefully one of us can make a boatload of money and do this all the time or pay off one of our big bills in life or something like that. Plus, there's some good ball knowers in here. So hopefully you take something with you that you can apply somewhere in your own drafting time. Or you can do it in here as long as it doesn't intrude on what I'm doing, right? Right? I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want. It's your pick. Back here. I mean, if Jalen Noel comes, that might be hard to say no to, right? For the correlation. Or Adam Thielen bring back. I might like that more. Any of these 3, right? They all work there. I think I like Thielen. I could go Thielen and Leggett for bringbacks. Let's go Thielen and Noel. And then we're probably done at wide receiver. I was going to leave you, Gino. I wasn't going to take your... Oh, you didn't? I thought you had Bowers. I forgot he got pushed way down there. Never mind. I wasn't playing in your game. I'm going to take 2 tight ends late. I figured I had enough firepower at running back here. Yeah, we'll play. That seems all right. We've got enough. And I wanted one more piece just because I think that's a good game in week 17 to be a part of. And Jalen Noel gives me spike weeks possibly for CJ Stroud. Could maybe put a Charger in for that game. I don't know if I need another wide receiver, though. I think 7 might be enough with this team with the way I started. Yeah, that should be enough. So I can do whatever at this point. I think the wide receiver button's going to go off, to be honest. I think those 7 are good enough. Because my first 5 capital, I had 5 through 61. And then 2 later. I think we're all right there. So we'll tack on some running backs, maybe a quarterback if it comes back. We'll see. But I think the Hawkinson, just for being in that Detroit game, because I can see that being maybe a shootout, week 17. Maybe he gets 2 touchdowns. But then I think the value of these late tight ends, you just sprinkle in a couple of them, and you're all right. This will either be a 3-5-7-3 or a 2-6-7-3, I believe. The Leggett drafter is the one. He has 2 quarterbacks. He might take Bryce, which I don't care if he does, because I kind of already took 2 quarterbacks and I took them with some capital, so it's not hurting my feelings there. Thanks for being here, Randall. Did some rookie streamer shit there and left myself muted for a minute. Appreciate you. What I said there was I'll go Alec Pierce. I think regardless of I knew as soon as I saw it, I knew I left it on mute. I think Alec Pierce should be good regardless of who the quarterback is there. No matter who of the 3 quarterbacks they have there is the quarterback, he should get some work. It's a busy wide receiver room, but they also have Tyler Warren. But he has seen his spike weeks regardless of quarterback, I felt like. And he always just seems to show up. So seems like a good pick there. I appreciate you telling me I was muted though, because I don't always catch that stuff, especially by myself. If you want afterwards, I will go over your team just because I appreciate you doing that. Colts fan loves the guy. Pittman was back. Issue scares me. Downs is the one, but other open. Is Downs the one or is Pittman still the one? That always is my debate, because Pittman, when he was the one, was definitely like a wide receiver one. But I agree, Downs, he's definitely shown, his stuff. It's the Colts' whole passing game is interesting to me. Like, what's it gonna do? I wonder if I can move this up any. There, now you guys can see the bottom of the board. Making sure that was visible for everyone there. We'll see what this comes back to. I think I'm going to take another tight end just because I don't feel great about the two I have. Downs a premier talent in his prime. Pittman on the downswing. Jones would favor Downs if he's a cute. Yeah, I think that's probably right because Pierce is more like big play kind of guy, and Anthony Richardson. I mean, if I had that kind of arm, I would want to throw 80 yards too. But then I also feel like shouldn't AD Mitchell get some of those? Maybe he's just not getting open. Maybe Al Pierce is the better route runner. But yeah, I feel like Downs and Pittman are the better route runners, so they should get the volume of the targets. And Pierce, which for best ball, I guess then Pierce is probably the correct pick. Maybe the other guy's more for PPR leagues. This guy goes Sam Darnold. I don't know if he thought he was hating on what I was doing over here, but definitely wasn't. Because what I was thinking was something different. I wasn't going. The reason I didn't take Sam Darnold there, I mean, maybe he just wanted him on the value for his last quarterback. He had plenty of quarterbacks. I was going to take Jalen Milroe for thinking that Sam Darnold might be benched with the contract concerns by this game for my third quarterback, even though he's got the same bye week as Trevor Lawrence. I'm playing that to win it. And there's recently been some buzz about Elijah Arroyo, which he's also in that game. And it gives me the stack there with Milroe. So I figure if he's getting some targets, that's another late round tight end to get a piece of there. Yeah, speed. I mean, that's why I think with Pierce that they might be competing for some targets. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they're going to be same spot of the field. You know, they're both the big, but maybe they both spike ping pong weeks or something. Especially if I feel like they probably want to find out that Anthony Richardson is or isn't the guy, so he's going to get his work. But when do they do that? Like, do they do it early in the season when they're 1-4, or are they 3-2 and still competing and they don't want to change anything? Tough call with the Colts. So there's some of these like the Colts, the Giants, the Saints, all those QB situations are pretty fluid, I feel like. I will get rid of the board because it's past everyone's pick. Put this back over here. Hey, good to see Meg. Anybody that's in here, if you haven't, go sub to the Fanspeak Network. Meg and Steve Shelp, I believe I said your last name correctly. They have they're doing the Fanspeak Network. They have the YouTube channel and they have the best ball subscription. I think it's $34.99. Meg can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And that they have a bunch of good best ball content and stuff over there. So check them out. Okay, thanks. I wasn't sure on that, Meg. I was flying by the seat of my pants over here doing everything. First time here. Okay, it was drafting with Candyman, who I thought I recognized your name in the chat. It's DWB, isn't it, Dale? I thought I saw that. Oh, and I got to go to. So you can tell I'm not super hip to this streaming thing just yet. 25 season. That was a puppy. So this was, I can view the whole draft this way. And Dale was, thought I had seen your team. Okay, Bo Nix, Jared Goff, CMC. So he stacked Jared Goff with JMO. I was wondering if you were going to get a Tesla bring back there. Bo Nix with. Oh, I thought for some reason I thought you had Bo Nix there with RJ Harvey. Maybe I saw that wrong. Okay, early on the West Coast. That's why. I got you guys. I try to remember where everyone's at. That's why I figured if I do this early, it's going to be random on who gets in here. But Dale's team, Bo Nix and Jared Goff, Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon, Rashad White, Marshawn Lloyd, J.K. Dobbins, Taj Brooks, definitely playing into some. Okay, so you were the one that bumped up CMC. That's what I thought. I thought I had recognized your name somewhere. AGB. I wonder if you got sniped on some of your quarterbacks, seeing how this got built, because you stacked Goff with JMO and Bo Nix. You didn't get to stack with anyone, so I wonder if you got sniped going, because I know you're definitely a good drafter. So I'm willing to bet you got sniped on some of your stuff going back and forth here. Josh Downs and Keenan Allen and J.K. Dobbins are two of them when I see them, depending on if I need a running back or a wide receiver in the build. I've been hammering them lately just because I feel their value is too low. You went with three late tight ends. I like the idea there. Those two, I feel like the tight ends, that's one of those games I was talking about where it's a cold weather game. The tight ends could be what pops off in that game. I like what you did there. Pretty decent team all in all. I feel like you probably got sniped on a couple of your stacks probably somewhere and just had to take Bo Nix to get a quarterback. You probably got sniped on Hurts and maybe Stafford late and just had to get a quarterback value in there. I see what you're up to in there, Dale. And who else was in here? It was Crow Man. I'll go over your team real quick. Jalen Hurts, and I saw you had him stacked with Devontae. So you got Devontae at 45 and Hurts to fall back to 50. That's a nice late Hurts stack. Yeah, that Kyler value there at 117. How can you not? I mean, with McBride there, you were probably behind at wide receiver, so started hammering them. Let's see, 69, 71, 93, 1. Yep, you did exactly what I would do in there. Just start peppering them and see what stack you can fall into. Or actually, you already have you're just hoping for spike weeks because you already have your quarterbacks. And you have two. That's a good team because you have two good running backs and then just a lot of spike week wide receivers. A.D. Mitchell, Alec Pierce. You're just hoping for. I would have taken Higgins. I thought about him at my pick just because of where I was at. But yeah, you got some good spike week guys in there, and then two good, another good tight end. Mason Taylor was the other one I was thinking about where it came back to me. That should be a pretty good team though, especially for a 2 quarterback build. You wanted Ingram. That makes sense with Knicks. I was wondering. I figured you had to get sniped on a stack somewhere in there. Son, how it's funny as you do this more when you see people that you think are good drafters. You can see when a team that doesn't look normal, you figure they got sniped on something because I can find one of mine in here somewhere. Yeah, no problem, Randall. I appreciate you shouting me out. I'll find one of mine. Let's see. I'll find one of mine just recently, probably where something went wrong. There's one at 5:22 in the morning. Ben Haskell was in that one. Actually, I remember this one. I sniped him on Justin Fields. I apologize after because he had, I think in this one, he had Garrett Wilson. Yep, he took Garrett Wilson. So I apologize. I was like, I didn't even realize you had. I'm trying to find one of these where I had to change what I was doing afterwards. That one was just there I had Garrett. You can see right there, that was a 2 quarterback with Garrett Wilson and Kyler. But you see there, I took Kyler at 95, so you can see where drafts don't. I definitely am not a normal drafter either. So when I'm in the room, there's definitely I try to stay in my lane, but you know how it is with those. You can get boxed out sometimes, and you just you end up getting some weird. But that's also how you get a weird team where if it gets through, people are like, why all of a sudden does this guy have a Bo Nix team here? Uncorrelated. Well, Bo Nix has some of his good rushing upside and has some of his good spike weeks. He could be a quarterback that wins you that week. Not saying it's, he's going to beat Lamar or anything, but if it's one of those weeks where the elites don't have a great week, might be one of those things where he might be, or, does Goff have a JMO week where he's a 40-point scorer? There's ways you can get there, but that's why these best ball drafts are definitely a unique thing where you can end up. I'll do another one here. I'm going to go refill my tea and then put in the comments here, anybody that's watching, if you want to do a 20 or 30-second puppy, or if you want to do something else. Puppy's 84% full, so it's getting filled up. Schnauzer's 72% full. We can run a BBM if you guys want. I haven't done one of those in a minute. That is obviously, wow, that's actually 10% full. That's kind of getting up there already too. We can do weekly winners if you want. We can do an eliminator. I really don't care what we do. You guys can put it in the chat. I'm going to go refill my tea and I'll be back in a minute. I could already see Randall's comment when I came back, said he wants 30-second drafts. We can do 30 seconds. I can slow it down. I'm vibing over here. I ain't got anything crazy to do. 30-second might take a little bit longer to fill, just so you know, but it's not hurt my feelings any. Plus, if I give people some time to wake up, especially on a holiday weekend, how many I don't have a lot of schnauzers left. We could do a schnauzer. We'll do a 30-second schnauzer. Anyone that's watching, I'm going to join it right now. We'll see if what sort of waiting on 8. So plenty of people for 30-second schnauzer. I will, I guess, real quick while I'm here, give Pat a shout out. Using the best ball overlay tool, shows all the correlations and week 17 matchups. When I'm drafting, you'll be able to see this better. But bestballoverlay.com, it'll show, like, after you draft your quarterback, it'll highlight your stacks for you that are coming back here. It shows you week 17s. You can actually put in here your different, if you want QB, what your QB correlations you want to show up, QB 1, 2, or 3, or 4. I usually take 4 off. You can put your 15, 16 correlation, 15, 16, 17 correlation in there, whichever ones you like. Like you can see there, I have 16 and 17 on. I usually only have 16 or 17, sometimes just 17, depending on what I feel like drafting. You can put all 3 of them on there. Sometimes the overlay will get a little bit busy with that. If it doesn't, I usually just take the week 15 off. I guess, what I say, 30, let's see if I can do this. 30-second, I can do it right from here, puppy. I don't even have my YouTube thing on there, so seems good there, waiting on 6. I have no way to share it on X, or I would. So I guess currently it might just be me and you, Randall. We'll be waiting here for a minute, but it'll fill. Eventually somebody will see this in here and get in here. I did see some of the Stefanski talking about Shadur, but I also think, like, is he going to talk bad about him? Oh, how did I do that? Oh, I didn't want the comments to show up there. I saw. Okay, so that's a thing you can do now. I didn't realize that. High hopes for Shadur. Yeah. What team are you a fan of? Are you a Browns? You said something about the Colts. I know if you had a team that you're a fan of, or yeah, the Colts or the Browns QB room is extremely interesting because it could be any of like 4 guys right now, and we really don't know what's going on there. Oh, you're a Vikings fan then? Have you been in PPR Tyler's chats before? Maybe I thought I'd seen you in that. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I knew I'd seen Dale before. Shit, this is a 30-second schnauzer, isn't it? My bad. I forgot that I put puppy in there. Okay, so maybe that's where I'd seen you before. I put puppy in the fucking chat like an idiot. You talked me into a schnauzer. Or you talked me into doing a schnauzer and I wrote 30-second puppy. And yeah, me too. I thought I wrote puppy in the chat. That was an idiot thing. See, I came back real quick from doing something. I saw your comment and messed it up myself. Could tell it's early in the morning and I'm fumble fucking around with this. We'll get there though. I'll probably do some more of these maybe later at night this weekend, something. I apologize to anyone if you got in the puppy. At least I didn't hoo-hams you and get into a 20 and a 20-second said I was getting in a 30. Only waiting on 2 more for a schnauzer 30. That'll be a little bit longer of a stream, but hopefully we'll get some of our fellow drafters in here with us. Waiting on 2. I hope that everyone that I said puppy in the chat left before that draft started. Or if it started and you were in there, I hope you win the thing because I sent you in there. In which case, I would like 10%. Thanks for understanding. I literally never watch movies anymore. I'm not even gonna lie. Like between working 60 hours and then what I'm doing when I get a chance to watch these fantasy football, best ball drafts and stuff. If I sat down to watch a movie, most likely I'd fall asleep watching it. That's just 100% real talk there. One more for a 30-second schnauzer. And I think a lot of people might not have them left because it's only what, a 20 max. So there could be a lot of people that already max this. And I think there's probably, I wonder how many schnauzers there'll be. I think they'll end up being like Bullet Train and the Menu were excellent though. I'll see if I get a chance to watch some of those. I I mean when I'm being 100% serious that I just do not have. I wouldn't mind doing it. That one wrestling movie that I'll write some of these down and take a look. Like when my time is the biggest thing. It's hard to find the time right now. I would love to. I wish I could post this to Twitter because it would fill. Never mind. I was going to write one more 30-second schnauzer. Let's see who we get in here. Pull this up. I can look at this better. I can read it better. Get that one out of the way. And I wish was it Vaporware that was in here talking about how he never gets a 12 spot? Thought it was Vape. How big can I make this without fucking the whole thing up? I think right there is not terrible, right? Feel like that's pretty good. Who we got in here? Crowman's in here again at the 10. I do not see anybody else I know. These are some random schnauzer rooms, huh? You are free to take whatever you want because it is your pick. Sniping is part of what happens in these rooms, and I've become well aware of that. Everybody's got their own. I guess these could be some interesting rooms too because a lot of people might have maxed this already, so you don't know who's going to be in here. These could be people that are first time playing. A lot of badgeless in here. I mean, look, there's only 3 badges. That's pretty interesting. I guess maybe that's something to think about for why you would save some of these. I think I did like 10 of them early and then save some. So maybe I'll come on later and max this out. Just seeing on what this is. 30-second gives you a lot of time to think about your picks too. Especially like Randall, if you're newer to this. I know at first they didn't have a 20-second clock last year, so 30-second was just a thing. And for streaming, I can see why people that stream, I could see why you would like a 20-second clock doing it solo, but a 30-second clock if you wanted a guest. Because if you got to talk over your picks, that 30 seconds can go quick, especially with a lag. Saquon, Bijan, Jamar Chase, nothing crazy early. I always wonder on these 30 seconds too, some people will be drafting with just auto ranks and stuff. I'm worried that a lot of these 3 teams, this is what's good about the overlay too, is it'll show what percent, if you extract your teams, I'll pull it back up, I guess, after my pick here. But you can see what percent of times you drafted teams that are the same. I guess let's just do this and pull this right over here right now. And just leave this up over here since we've got the overlay tool on here as it is. How about right there? And we'll just pop the board back up and down. Ashton Genty goes up here at 7. Christian McCaffrey there. We'll get some sort of pick here at wide receivers. Derrick Henry goes there. So who do we want? Do it different. Go Amon-Ra, Nico. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Amon-Ra Nico to start. Seems good. Just for something a little different. And I'll get the board back up for you guys. I don't think I guess I could leave this one over here and then just pull this up. And then with the overlay tool here, you'll see I haven't taken Amon-Ra St. Brown in any of these. Oh, I have to extract my exposures is what it is. Never mind, I can't show you that. I guess I'm only going to be using the overlay tool currently for correlation purposes. I wonder if there's been an update on that too. I haven't checked in a while. So I'll have to upload my exposures apparently. As you can see here with the overlay tool, it'll show you if you highlight over the player. In all tournaments, I've taken 11.5% of the time. Total entry fee is $11. Maybe I just haven't taken Amon-Ra yet. Is that maybe that's what it is? Yeah, that might be what it is. I just haven't taken Amon-Ra yet, and none of these. I guess I just haven't taken them. Yeah, you get Amon-Ra Genti or Gibbs Genti. Yeah, you could get those a lot in the big board. Now, not so much. So I guess, yeah, that was good that I took Amon-Ra there because in these post-draft tournaments, I really don't get them because of the picks where I've been getting them. Interesting. See, this is why the overlay tool is nice because I never get an Amon-Ra fall. That's how you can see, like Nico Collins. If I add Amon-Ra to the tool, I never get Nico Collins with Amon-Ra. So this is a unique team. Pull the board back up for you guys. See, stuff like that. This is why it's good to promote the overlay, I guess. Stuff like that. I guess I hadn't seen. I mean, I guess it is kind of unique in these tournaments, but Amon-Ra Nico, not the most common thing to get. Then it's a question of do you take one of the elite quarterbacks when they come back, or can you afford to push them down the board? Always the yeah, I feel like that's a good game, and they like you said they both should be competitive, playing for playoff spots. Mini Detroit's a good one. I like Tampa Bay, Miami. I like Carolina, Seattle. That's the other good thing about the overlay tool. It highlights your week 16, 17 games. So team, you want to get them through the tournaments. You can see where you're, and it'll start to once you have your players in there. These will highlight with bringbacks in those games and such. I gotta get used to where I can grab the thing from and not open it. We'll see what the room wants to give us back here. I guess that is what you probably want to see right now, huh? Trey McBride, a little bit of a fall there back in Bowers and McBride in these tournaments. See, people are starting to not take the tight ends as early. I noticed. They all got look at this avalanche, all the wide receiver, even JSM. See, when I feel like I got him earlier, that you don't see him ever make it back that far. Both of the elite quarterbacks going to make it, huh? I mean, do I? Tet's going to be one of the picks. Then it's a decision on if I take one of the. I think it's going to be Tet Josh Allen. Yeah, let's do that. Good enough there. I might not even take another quarterback again for a while. We can just play in the running back wide. Look at this. PPR Tyler. I told you guys people would funnel in here. I can just is Twitter broken for you, PPR Tyler? Because Emo said it was broken for him. It logged me in on my computer and it worked fine. I went to log in on my phone and it worked fine. And then it gave me an unusual login, suspicious activity, and kicked me out of both of them. So now I got to wait to hear back. Anybody that's not, go check out PPR Tyler, Best Ball Barbecue. It sucks right now. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. I might just leave this. Can you write Twitter sucks right now so I can leave that comment up on the screen? Check out Best Ball Barbecue. You can put a link to it in the comments here if you want, Tyler. You know I'm one of the OGs over there. Go check out Best Ball Barbecue if you're in here and haven't. Tyler's putting out content every single day. You're at what, like 120 straight days of drafting over there, something like that. So yes, that comment can just stay right there, and they'll give a low PPR Tyler promo. Leave that up for a little bit. The Tyler's at like 120 days or something. I've been working so much, I've just been over there throwing my like on his stream real quick and getting out of Dodge. But Tyler's always got good content, good guests over there. Check out Teufel Tower. I think that's is that Thursdays? I can't even remember. Last year's bags. Yeah, that one, I had a little bit of that between Malachi Corley and Roman Wilson once he got hurt. But I'll tell you the crazy variance. What about the other wide receiver for the Jets? I saw some buzz on him lately. Anais Smith, I think it is. I was thinking about sprinkling him in some late and just see what happens. I worry though, because it's Justin Fields. Like, are any wide receivers, or isn't Mason Taylor even viable? Or is it just going to be the Justin Fields show? I mean, what could go wrong, right? What could go wrong? We've all been there. I had a bunch of picks last year that, well, ended up not being good picks. Guess I should leave that right there for the overlay tool, huh? We got Travis Kelce going over here in the 5th round. Interesting. Saquon, Tyreek Hill, Kyron Williams, Kenneth Walker, Travis Kelce. Naked Jalen Hurts. Okay, these rooms are going to get fun. It is a schnauzer, though, so I guess you do kind of... It's going to be a little bit different. This is a 30-second schnauzer. I asked the chat what they wanted to do just because I had bullets left for it, and I said I'd do that. I saw your comment. I knew man, is Zay Flowers going to come all the way back to Lamar drafter? That's why these are kind of wild right now, right? I wonder if Zay comes all the way. Yeah, it's a 30-second schnauzer. No, what happened with that? You can go ahead and tell me. I literally have seen nothing, especially since Twitter broke. I went to bed last night. It was like I give up on life. It's kind of where I was at. Do I take... Man, that's a fun one if he's there too, huh? I was going to take Calvin Ridley. Those are the two running backs. Do you take two there? Thoughts. They have a Tennessee. I was going to go... You know what? Maybe I'll leave Kamara. Is that a... Okay. You got me on Chuba Hubbard, Jalen Waddle. Let's do that. Gives us another quarterback later. But I have to get a wide receiver. I almost took two, but I figure I could play around with some of the Bills. I would say DM me this on Twitter, but you can't. So, oh, wait a minute. I did see some. I didn't know it was him. I didn't know that was Gilbert Arenas. Was that really Gilbert Arenas, like the basketball player? Because I did see something on somebody's stream about somebody taking a bunch of those. Now I want to watch and see if it happens anywhere. I can see why the community would be outraged, but also, wouldn't you be able to... That's what John Warner said? Okay, see, I can't check any of this stuff because I can't go on Twitter. So I thought I saw maybe before Twitter took a shit, somebody's screenshots or something with him on there with like a bunch of quarterbacks through like rounds 2 through 5 or something like that. I bet, but you would think you'd get some crazy teams then. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Aren't those like ultra gritty builds? Is what that feels like. I'm just gonna take all the elite quarterbacks and then piece it together. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I didn't realize that was Gilbert Arenas. That's way funnier. Yeah, like I would think you'd get some unique builds. Obviously, they wouldn't be elite quarterback builds, but you're still gonna there's still gonna be some other elite quarterbacks that if you see it happening and you could just grab a quarterback in there. I feel like that's what I'm saying. Let me get in those rooms. I'm a proponent of let me get in the rooms like when Travis Kelsey gets drafted in the 5th round and stuff. I mean, what if Kelsey's a smash? What if that's right? Then we're all stupid. We get it. But I know I need to get in these DraftKings rooms more. I was thinking that, especially because I have some change over there, and I never play on DraftKings. I've been pretty much since I started drafting with this man right here last year. What was it? Was like big board time last year when I started getting in your rooms with him with the gritty. That that was when your channel really started blowing up. I swear there was like 300 people then. I don't even think you were monetized yet then. So look, I mean, seeing what your channel is now, that's fucking awesome. I would, yeah, I thought it was like early March because it was like before the draft, right? Because I had one of mine. I'll find it after. I had a Lamar JJ McCarthy team, I think, that made like the big board semis or something that was in one of your rooms when I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I'm not saying I have an idea what I'm doing yet, but you're at what? You're 1,500 something subs like that. I forget what it is, but I mean, that's what you've been grinding every day. I give you the props on that. Yeah, the Gilbert. I did not realize that that was really Gilbert Arenas, like Agent Zero Gilbert Arenas. That's the guy we're talking about, right? To be honest, I mean, God, I don't want to think about shit like this, but think about if other pro athletes that had a bunch of money just decided we're gonna throw a bunch of go max BBM and throw a bunch of ranks in here and not even pay attention to it and just see if we win it. How easy is it for a pro athlete to max BBM? Seems like it'd be pretty easy if people like me could do it, right? Random thought for the day. What running backs we got? Yeah, I mean, why not? Right? It's money in their bank account. What do they care? Tony Pollard, a good click here. I think that far past ADP if he makes it. He's sponsored. Oh, he is sponsored by. Well, then shit. That's probably what happened. Then follow the money. I'll say this every time. Just follow the money. If he's sponsored by him, are these just two like brain dead ADP clicks here that I have to take? Ugh. I don't know that I need Khalil Shakir though. Is there a different? Oh, that's so. I suppose it's probably the right pick though. I'm going to take Tony Pollard and Khalil Shakir just because he stacks with Josh Allen. And you can see that if you're watching that there with the overlay tool, how it highlighted my pick there. I think that just gives me a real another. I've got good spike week wide receivers in here. It just gives me another floor. It spreads out bye weeks pretty well, and I can concentrate on other stuff that I need here for a while. Like if I want running backs or tight end when they come back, I'm at 5 wide receivers really early with sneaking in 2 pretty solid running backs as well. Don't hate the team. I guess I won't pull that comment up for PPR Tyler, but if you're watching in the chat, I suppose you'll see it. I have been taking the 2 people that I suppose that I would get some get Raz some for that I've been taking lately are Cooper Cup and Debo. Like now that their ADPs are kind of suppressed some. Cooper Cup just because I think if he can stay healthy and he's in that Panthers game late in the season, Their defense could be so awful that I could just see Cooper Kupp eating them alive. Same with JSN or both. Like if their defense is really bad. Debo, I don't hate it because Debo has that crazy, like he could just have a 30-point week. We saw what was against the Lions week 1 3 years ago. I get that it's 3 years ago and he's older now, but third round Terry scary, good way or bad way. I don't know. I've started to hate it more and more just thinking about how they might spread that offense around, but could be good, could be bad. I felt like you couldn't get a third round Terry and Jaden stack in the big board, little board stuff, and now you can get it all the time now post draft. Yeah, see, now you start thinking about the Underdog sponsorship thing. If they sponsor more, former athletes, because I guess current athletes wouldn't be able to play it. Shout out Jamison Williams, but the former athletes, if they've just got a crazy bankroll, max it out, set your ranks. What do they care, win or lose? Maybe they luck box into something. To them, what's $3,700 to max BBM? If you get a team to the finals and can just do it again next year. Plus, if they don't, especially as a former athlete, you probably just write it off as a loss gambling. And if you just do that, like whatever. You got to figure out how to play the income tax game better. I guess that's what part of it is. I've got an elite quarterback, so I don't even care what comes back for a while. This is a quarterback range where I don't need it. Could take Trey Harris if he gets there for I don't really need a wide receiver. Tight ends in this range, nothing super fun. Maybe Mark Andrews is just a good value. Man, these 30-second clocks, I can see why streamers pick 20 seconds now, because 30 seconds when you're by yourself, you feel like you have forever to wait. Trey Harris could give me a good bring back with Nico if I felt like that. We'll see what the room gives us and what feels like it'll be 15 minutes from now. Jonnu Smith goes there and Bo Nix, huh? Let's see something here. How far down is Goff? ADP 1. I'd probably have to take him here, huh? He won't come back. If I got to do that to stack him with JMO. And that's my first round pick, huh? I have 2 good running backs. I don't have 3. How far should I push quarterback? I'm going to take Trey Harris there. And I think, see if I can get Jordan Mason for that bring back. I'm going to push Goff just because I have a Josh Allen already. I think that's better. I believe that was correct. It was either take Goff there because he's probably not coming back. You took, see what I do there sometimes if you want to try and get the stack is take Ingram first, because then it's less likely Bo Nix will go here naked. But you don't know. People do whatever they want in these rooms. I went with 2 bringbacks there just because I thought it gives me another wide receiver where I can play around with other running backs here. This gives me a bring back in the Detroit game. Can take all the tight ends later if I want to. I don't believe Goff comes back. It also gives me a play on Herbert if he doesn't get taken. But really, I'm thinking this is probably CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. Thought leaving Andrews there would satisfy his tight end needs since he had Lamar. Oh, yeah, that's true. So, yeah, that is weird that he didn't just take. Yeah, I guess that makes you both unique in that aspect that you have Andrews and he has Ingram. Like if your teams get there. If I'm him, I probably just, if I'm going to take a tight end there, I probably just take a running back here and then take Andrews down here instead of taking Ingram and then getting whatever running backs left. That's thinking ex post facto, though. Through, what is this, 10 rounds? We are at a 1-3-6-0. Josh Allen, Chuba Hubbard, Tony Pollard, Jordan Mason, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Ted McMillan, Jalen Waddle, Khalil Shakir, Trey Harris. 0 tight ends yet. Pull the board back up for the viewing audience. Golden State exposure for Baltimore and Green Bay week 17. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and you have Golden on this. Yeah, you have. Okay, so you got that game stacked out. That makes sense. I can see why you pushed it then. Did he have anything else? See, I wonder why he didn't take something else. Maybe you took what he was thinking about doing with the Baltimore bringback up there. I was trying to figure out what people were thinking, when they took what his Evan Ingram pick was. Maybe he wanted to go Bo Nix, Evan Ingram there and be done at quarterback, and you took Bo Nix, so maybe that's what he was thinking. Maybe it was a spite pick. I don't know. It's always hard to tell. Adam Thielen, 124. I wonder if some people are using Steve-O's ranks. Got Adam Thielen bumped up here a little bit. I guess I should refresh that. I've got this pulled up over here. Yeah, we can just kind of let the correlation game do its thing. I think I'm in a good spot. Just a $3 schnauzer anyhow. There's going to be lots of this going on. Yeah, you might have sniped him on that build. Meant to mute it before I did that. Sorry about that. He takes Jordan Love there. I was thinking about taking Tucker Kraft, but I might leave him here for you. I am one pick away. Oh, what do I want here? Whole pile of yuck. He goes Marvin Mims probably to stack out that game. His ADP is 137. Okay, Kincaid can be a pick here. I'm going to go Kincaid and Javonte Williams just because I like that game. And right now, he's the running back. I don't like any of the other tight ends in that range necessarily. If anything, I was going to take Goddard for the bring back and take 2 tight ends. No, if I want him, I was more in a different. It doesn't really fit my build at all. Like for me to take him there, it doesn't make sense at all. I'm playing to win the whole tournament. I don't have anything in the Baltimore and Green. I was leaving it for you two. If he wanted him here for that game, or if you wanted him here, it doesn't make sense for me to take him. I'm better off taking Kincaid there. What I probably should have done was take Dallas Goedert. That if I could do it again, I'd taken Kincaid and Goddard and taken 2 tight ends there. Yeah, see, and it makes sense if people are staying in their lane and doing it right. Where I think the pick there for me, instead of Javonte there, probably should have been taking Kincaid and Goddard and just have a 1-3-6-2 there. That was probably a misclick on my end. But you learn. It's just $3 schnauzer. But what if Goddard was what you need to win the tournament there? Then that sucks. I'm not especially high on Dalton Kincaid, especially with his, taking him before ADP. But I suppose with that build, if I take 2 tight ends there, it's probably correct. And what are you going to do? Congrats. Did the Hurts drafter didn't even get him back. Baker got him. Did he have? He just took him the ADP value. Yeah, I get it. See, I figured I had other stuff here later if I want to build that. See, I've looking at that Goddard probably the click there. I just feel like there's other tight end value later I could take. That could be right, could be wrong. Yeah, I think it's unique, a little bit unique, just because of the Amon Ra. A little bit unique because of the fall on these two. Yeah, we'll see how it ends up. I will need another quarterback at some point in time, maybe 2 if they're late, but 2 if he makes it back would probably be one I'd take here, just because I do have Waddle. Could be a 2 of Bryce Young kind of build, right? That would work. I don't know if I want to go 3 with Josh Allen, though. Probably 2, so we'll see if one or the other makes it. What is the better build for what I have? I don't have any other. I'm definitely. It could be either or. Do I take both is a question. Am I deep enough on this team where I can do that already? Interesting proposition there, right? I also have McMillan there for a bring back in the Tampa Bay game. Do I take both quarterbacks? That would definitely make it unique, right? I have 6 wide receivers. I could take 2 tight ends later. I have to take them both here if I'm going to do it. I'm not the biggest fan of 3 quarterback builds with an elite quarterback, but I guess since I'm unique anyhow, let's do it. Currently at 3, 4, 6, 1. But I have bringbacks in those other games. That's why I did that. Everything stacked up nicely with the correlation tool. All my quarterbacks have different buys. Kind of a bet on the Carolina offense here with Chuba Hubbard and Tet. But I have Waddle with Tua, Josh Allen stacked up with Khalil Shakir and Dalton Kincaid. We can let the room do what it's going to do. Especially having Ted over Hunter and Jay has more. Yeah, that's what I think too. Just a volume target, a volume hog. I can always get into some. I'm probably not going to take Rico Dowell here because I already have Chuba, but I also have Jalen Wright. There's some interesting stuff I can do here now that I have 3 quarterbacks, especially with late wide receivers and such. I also can play the Elijah Royal game in the Bryce Young build. Kind of weird taking 3 quarterbacks there, but I figure with where I was at ADP, they line up and they make sense stack wise. I don't know that I should have taken both, but I got Waddle on a little bit of a fall there to stack him. So I figured I was going to do it. Probably a little bit behind a wide receiver, but I could make some upside plays at either of them. I think I got enough early on where I'm not really worried about it. Running backs were all right. We can see what the room gives us. Sorry about not having the board up for you guys. I apologize. Should be a little bit better now. It was telling me I had an unstable connection. Not sure why. When I'm hardwired. Hopefully it's not lagging or anything for you guys, but we'll see here. I think we'll just turn week 17 correlation on for now. Let's see if it cleans that up some. Yeah. We're at that point in the draft where I don't think I need the other weeks. We just build this out to win the thing now. Or whatever. We've already built it out. We've got some good week 17 stacks already. We can just play for correlation at this point. I don't know how much I like Xavier Lee yet, but with the correlation, I could probably play him if he gets here. I'm a little bit further down there in my ranks, but he does correlate. Definitely never take another quarterback, so we'll just get rid of that. And we'll see what happens down here. Could also be a cokehead. We got Jatavian Sanders. Other bringbacks in these games. Torrey Horton. Nothing super intriguing down here. This is usually where you start to see the Pat Bryants and such. Geno stacked there. He did stack him, right? Yeah, with Jack Bash. Okay, I thought he had a stack. I was like, that's a random place to take a naked Geno. I have correlation for K Dotton down here in my in my Miami game, and I need a tight end. So I don't hate that late. And I also have Will Shipley in correlation with Buffalo for week 17. I'm going to take K Dotton and Will Shipley and push the rest back and stick with my 6 wide receivers. So now at a 3-5-6-2. Gives me some correlation in case those games pop off at the Miami and Tampa games a shootout. Now I have at least a tight end piece of it. Also gives me a way into the Philly Buffalo game with Will Shipley at 181. Don't hate that. I can tack on correlation pieces. What's happening, Who Hames? Just saw you. Anyone that isn't, go ahead and like and sub Who Hames channel. I believe it's actually called Who Hames, or is it Who Hames Fantasy Football? I'm not sure. You're free to drop the link in the chat if you want. Who Hames, one of the good guys. He's cranking out content pretty much every day. He's got usually around, what is it, 4 p.m. my time, so I think it'd be 3 p.m. your time during the early parts of the week. Who Hames is streaming. Good to see you in here. This is a 30-second schnauzer. I just asked the chat what they wanted to do and fired off. I'm free to do whatever you want to do. If you want to do something, Who Hames, we can do whatever you want, whatever you still have availability to do. I don't know if you were streaming later today or what. My Twitter's still broken, as PPR Tyler said somewhere up here. He said, Twitter sucks right now. It kicked me out twice. It gave me my verification code for both my desktop and my phone. I logged into both, and then it gave me a suspicious login, and now I'm kicked out again. So we'll see if it works later. It's supposed to be at work, had a flat, so now I'm free. Oh, that's a good day then. You can be off all weekend then? I don't know. I got to get some yard work done, but after that, I might fire up another stream again. I've already been live for 2 hours, so it's getting to that point where you know how you got to get away. Like, okay, I've been staring at this thing for too long. But I'll be around. You know how it is. Currently a 3-5-6-2. So probably another tight end, another wide receiver, and I think we're out the door. I don't know. Tell me if that was too much at quarterback, Who Hames. I didn't really want to take 3 with Josh Allen, but they both correlated. I had Waddle and Tet. So I think that's right there. Right. I was going to ask you about holiday pay. I know how it goes. That's why I had to grind out the last 2 days, and I got to go in Tuesday. I actually have Monday off. I've been work. I don't know what to do with a 3 day weekend. Running backs are Chuba, Tony Pollard, Jordan Mason, Javonte Williams, Will Shipley. I got Shipley for the bring back in the Week 17 game. I don't have to explain it to you. You know what's up. That's why I was thinking I'd tack on another wide receiver tight end here. Okay, I didn't think it was too much. I hate going 3 with an elite, though. I just don't like it. I feel like you're losing a spike week chance somewhere, but I figure when they correlate, it makes sense. Let's find the pieces to end this with. Probably some sort of a Miami or Tampa bring back, I'm thinking, or Seattle. We can scroll here. One of them's got Nick Westbrook, Akine. I don't hate. I don't take enough Jatavian Sanders. One of them should probably be a tight end. No, I'm not super fan of that tight end room. I like Elijah Arroyo lately, especially in a bring back for that game. I feel like that's fun, especially late in the season. Take him here. Another bring back. I think I need another Week 17 piece. Let's just scroll for another. Let's find another wide receiver. Don't hate NWI. Good, especially with Miami. Or do I scroll for another one? Let's go Royal first and then figure out what wide receiver we want. MVS was the other one I was thinking about. He might have gone already. I'm thinking he went already. Oh, he is still. He's just that far down, huh? That is a thought in that game, huh? It's one of those two. I have Elijah Arroyo already. I have Ted. Yeah, I'll go with your suggestion. I don't hate that there. It was one of those two because it was going to be either it was a correlation piece somehow. So yeah, if that game shoots out, those are the only two pieces I have. I don't hate it. Yeah, it's the same play exactly. That's what I was thinking. I just like that piece that what you're saying with MVS there because if this game shoots out, then I have Arroyo and MVS, and I already have Tet and Chuba Hubbard stacked with Bryce. So I mean, depending on who the quarterback is, it could be. I guess you hope more there that it's Sam Darnold still because of the pass catchers and not Jalen Milrow. But if that game shoots out, I like the pieces and the way that the way that happens. I think the running backs are all right as long as they stay healthy. I've got a good piece there in the Detroit and Minnesota game with Jordan Mason. I grabbed Trey Harris for correlation with Nico Collins there because he fell to 13. So I figured at 108 that was a good enough piece to have him to bring back in that game. I don't hate the team. Don't necessarily like the 3 quarterbacks there with Josh Allen, but with where I got them, I mean Bryce or Tua passed ADP and Bryce 3 picks ahead. Chuba was wrapped around the corner in the 5th round. Tony Pollard was in the 7th. So I got pretty much all my running backs at value other than Will Shipley just because he was correlated. Took Dalton Kincaid ahead because he stacked with Josh Allen. Took Kincaid because he was the bring back in my stack with Tua and Waddle, and then Arroyo for the bring back. I think MVS probably the right call there if that game shoots out. That's a win the tournament play. Good call, Who Hames. I like the shout out there. Appreciate you coming in here and probably steering me in a more correct direction there. I was thinking it was him or Torrey Horton. Could be another one there that's fun. But that's probably going to do it for me. I might come back on later. I got to get some work out in the yard done. Appreciate everyone. Like I said, go make sure you sub to Who Hames over here, his channel. You're free to drop the link in the comment section or the afterwards if you want to leave a comment. Anyone do me a favor that's watching this. Like I said, I'll be doing these at any hour. So like the overlay says down here, do me a favor, hit the notification bell, like and sub. That way you'll be able to tell when I'm going live. You can jump in. You can draft with me. You can tell me I'm an idiot. You can come take my money. All of these are acceptable. You do whatever you want. I appreciate anything you guys are doing. I'm going to try and help grow everyone else's channel just like I'm growing mine. You guys have a good Memorial Day weekend, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Anthony. This has been Best Ball on Call. Have a great weekend, everyone.